Hey guys, so I'm really stoned right now, and I had a lot of really good ideas that I wanted to share with you, and I think you guys might get a kick out of some of them. I filmed my car earlier today, and I'm gonna play that in the next video, and I'm gonna tell you about my car, because I know some of you guys have really been wanting to actually learn about it. It's a really fun car. It's a 1975 Chevrolet Nova, and I love it. I got it originally for $4,000, and it had 33,000 miles on it, believe it or not. I'm not going to go too much in depth in it because the video that I'll be putting on after this is going to be me going out there and filming my car and talking about it and showing you the different things about it. It's going to be at night because I had to check it just recently and turning it on and stuff. So it'll make sense. I have a big meeting to go to tomorrow, and I had to make sure my car was in good shape to do it. So that's what I did. So the videos after this are going to be different. I'm going to do a whole bunch of random videos from now on about various things. I was thinking about talking about why I buy Head and Shoulders, or what I think about this game, or what I'm doing for Project Universe. I have that game that I'm working on, and it is tons of fun. I really enjoy it. I've had a lot of people join. I have at least one programmer now that is working pretty steadily. He went to college. He is a game engine developer. He knows like 7 programming languages. It's Blue Knight. If you join my Discord, you will have the opportunity of meeting him. He'll be the programmer that we'll be using for developing Project Universe, unless somebody else comes along that wants to work on the project that can work on it right now. It's on Amazon Lumberyard, so it's C++. So if you're really good at C++ and you want to make a game, I can't pay you right now, but I'm working on a game. I'm working on 3D assets. I'm on my desktop right now, and I have been working on 3D models for Project Universe. I've been working on these tiles for the game. This is like a escape hatch. It's fairly clean and matches a lot of the other details here, so it'll kind of blend in, but if you need to have access to it, it'll be there. I don't know if I'm going to tie any game elements to it. I might. Like we could have one set up as a emergency exit out of your house that takes you somewhere. And then the other one we could have set as, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Here is a plain one. I'll end up going into Substance Painter, and I will make textures for this. So like this plain one, I could do drywall, or I could do whatever else. For this bottom one, I was thinking about doing carpet or linoleum or something like that. Whatever I figure out I want to do. This one is just kind of indented and then has a plate. It's super simple. This one right here is kind of like bathroom tile. See how it has its plates, and then it has these little dealios here. So that's actually all 3D. I'm going to see how the game performs, and if it holds it pretty well, I'm going to leave that as it is. I've seen a lot of games using tons of polygons and are running good. And I think with proper engine design and proper usage of levels of detail, I'll be able to have designs like this that are super high detail and that all look good. This one, I think I might have accidentally overwritten. I think I was doing bricks, and I think something messed up about them, so I had to delete it. Right here, it looks a little bit like tiles, but it's actually like wood planks. As you can see, it's actually 3D models. And then I'll go through and, similar to my Fallout 4 mod, I'll color them differently, and I could do a few variations. That way it covers a larger area. I could do it like a Minecraft texture. Next is like this little indented wall, as you can see. I just thought it would help break up the wall so it's not just one flat thing. So that's why I'm coming up with so many of these. Just things to kind of break up a ship made out of tiles. And then these are actually a little different. These are actually glass. So you'll see these in like your bedroom while you're in the game and you're looking out in first person, and you'll be able to see space. And So I have one that is like a single tile. These are 1 meter by 1 meter. So this is a single tile that's as big as a Minecraft block. So you'll be able to stand there. If you were to open this one right here, you'd be able to fall through it. And that would just be manipulation of collision meshes. It would be super easy. This is a 3-piece part of the window. We have the left side, the middle, and this. So if you wanted a really big window, you'd be able to drag this one further down, say like 5 meters, and then you'd be able to extend this like that. So you'd have a nice big window, and you'd be able to look out into space. And you'd be able to set it however you want. If you want, so what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to set them however you want. If you want to have big window like that, go for it. If you want to have walls that look like this, wood planks, go for it. Your room will be able to be however you want it to be. Your floor will be able to be however you want it to be. It'll be made up of tiles, so we might run into issues with grids, but if I can help it, I'll try to set it so we can also have custom larger than 1 tile rooms. And hopefully that'll go pretty well. That way we could have elaborate spaceships. I could make special curved hallways, or like a big circular room, say like the Enterprise bridge where you have all the tiered seats and everything, so you could have that attached to it. But we'll figure it out as we go further. Right now I'm just trying to get some stuff done, so when Blue Knight actually ends up being able to work on the game, he will have stuff to add to the game engine. Right now he's rewriting the NanoWall mod because the code wasn't compatible with multiplayer. So he's rewriting that, and hopefully it'll be compatible with multiplayer and get rid of some of the crashing issues we're having. But once he's done with that, we'll either move directly over to Project Universe, or he'll work on the Spotlight mod a little bit because it's having some bugs, and we want to fix them. Like, the spotlight's pointing this way, but the actual light beam is coming out this way, and we're not sure how to fix it because Space Engineers is a little clunky, to put lightly. But yeah, so when we get to Project Universe, these tiles will be ready for them. I'm probably going to check out working in Amazon Lumberyard, where I'll try to get these down rudimentarily and be able to walk around so you can actually see how it will look. I'll get a skybox that is stars and go from there. If I could get them twinkling, that'd be awesome, but I'm expecting the skybox to be plain. When you play Space Engineers and it's on one of the monochromatic skyboxes that doesn't really have that much, kind of like this, if it didn't have this here, it actually looks really good, and it's very enjoyable and immersive in the game. So yeah, I'll set up a room. I'll set up a room so we could check out how it will look in the game. When I get the textures made, I'll be able to do another video. That takes a while. I'm going to make a bunch of individual textures that are going to be seamless. So this says painted gray, and I'll probably give this kind of like a soft, bumpy texture. I could probably scuff it up if I wanted to make it look more gritty or whatever, but I'm going to start with clean, fresh metal, like everything is well maintained, because you're on a fleet of colony spaceships that need to be well maintained. So that pretty much what wraps up what I want to talk about with the game. Blue Knight is working on the NanoWall, and it'll hopefully be done soon. We'll move over to the Spotlight turret and fix it, or we'll go straight to Project Universe. If we go straight to Project Universe, I'll start using those 3D models and getting like a level design thing set up. He's planning on going back to college to get his bachelor's, I think, and he will not be available anymore. While he's gone, I want him to design enough stuff that I can use to make 3D models. If I get a really good system set up for placing the tiles and building custom rooms and stuff like that, I'll be able to build environments. And if I'm able to build environments, hopefully it'll raise enough traction for the game to actually start getting donations so I can pay a programmer to work full-time and doing exactly what I need of them. Because I'm at the mercy of what the programmers want to work on and what they can handle and all that stuff. Blue Knight is doing phenomenal work, and he's spending hours upon hours working on this. But he's wanting to go back to college for his future. I don't blame him. It's a good idea. He needs to take care of his future because he doesn't know if this will pan out. I don't have an option, so I'm working on it. I have Crohn's disease, so I can't go and work a normal job. I can't go work at McDonald's. I can't work as a telemarketer. I am right now lounging because I have to. If I'm not lounging, I start getting into incredible pain, and I don't want that. 2 years ago, I was bedridden. I was bedridden for 6 months, from January 2017 to June of 2017. I was stuck in my bed. And during that time, I was watching mostly Josh OG. Josh OG is a fantastic streamer. His personality is amazing. He helped me from doing stupid stuff. I was incredibly depressed, and I'm feeling a lot better now. That's why I'm working on the game. I feel like I'm mentally capable of handling working on it. Another huge shout out to my Discord community. I love all the guys here. Some of them are weird, some of them are a little frustrating at times, but other than that, I love all these guys. We have a bunch of modders from the Space Engineers community, and a few of them are actually donators to my Patreon. If you go on my Discord, I'll show you. So here on my Discord, you have me. That's who I am. I'm Shausel. Mine's purple, so it's denoting that I'm the administrator. I have one moderator right now, which is my girlfriend. I try to keep the chat as friendly as possible. I don't want anybody breaking the rules, so no pornography, no gore, none of that stuff. It's an environment that you can hang out and be friendly. We're modders. We're working on making stuff for games. We don't want to see a bunch of inappropriate content for what we're working on. Over on the left, you can see all of these different channels. Welcome channel is where you're going to land. Read the rules and just be nice. Pretty much don't be a dick. Under the announcements, I pretty much post whatever is going on. If I upload a video, if I do anything else. Here you can see it was my 31st birthday on the 29th of January. I let everybody know, and you can see them all spazzing out about it. Here, I'm letting people know about the NanoWall mod and how to get access to it, and yeah, so I tagged everybody because everybody would be interested in the Discord server, and I'm letting them know. I give them my Steam account because they need to be able to add me on Steam to be able to use the mod. So you come over here and you send me a friend request. And then when you're in here in the Discord, you click on this one right here, and it'll bring up the nano walls. And here you see it. Pretty much what they are is a upgraded version of these. These are my force fields for Space Engineers. Space Engineers is voxel based, and it uses a grid system for building its ships. It's a really fun game. It is high quality. I highly suggest anybody that's creative and likes building spaceships get this game. It's phenomenal. It looks the best, and it plays okay. You have to have a pretty damn good computer to be able to play it and have it look nice, but it's fun. It's very sandboxy, and it's missing a lot of content that I think would do very good for it, but the modding community does a lot of mods that make the game better. If you guys want to actually see some of the mods that I suggest for Space Engineers to have a better game experience with Space Engineers, let me know, and I'll work on making a video about that so you get the best experience you can while playing Space Engineers. But yeah, so nano walls are built on these. These are each blocks that you can place in the game. And scrolling down, you can see this is the name of the mod. I have it that way so it's easier for me to find my mods on the list. I know it's kind of pretentious, but I do it because I have a lot of mods. If I come back to my workshop, this is my workshop, and you can see all the mods here. You can see nano walls, spotlight turret. You see a couple duplicates. These were a test for the developers. I helped out with making sure this mod worked. This mod right now is broken. I need to check it out, but I just haven't had the time. It's a very time-consuming process to fix this mod. It's going to take at least a week. These are some of my favorite mods that I made. The tiered reactors, I think, look pretty good, and they help with a lot of designs. They're not super duper fancy and have all kinds of fancy detail, but they're clean and they look pretty good in game, and they're mountable on all sides, and they're scaled. The vanilla game only has a 1x1x1 and a 3x3x3. I add a 1x1x1 all the way up to 5x5x5. And that's the same for the tiered gyroscopes and the tiered thrusters. The gyroscopes are very linear in their scaling. There's a slight improvement to using the larger ones to encourage using the larger ones, but for the most part, they're linear or additive scaling. Same for the reactors. The reactors are linear scaling. The tiered thrusters are linear as well. Their shapes are a little bit different, and they're not mountable absolutely everywhere. I think they're a little broken right now because the thruster cone damage is messed up. The developers were using one type of thruster cone damage detection system, and then they switched it to a box, and like just after I released these, they switched it to a box, which broke the size that I had them, and then they switched to a cylinder, I believe it is, and they're broken and they're hitting blocks around them. So I need to go in and somehow fix it. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I don't have the 3D models for these. One of the guys on my Discord does, but I don't have them on my computer. My computer died in 2017, and that's when I had my other GoFundMe. I raised about $2,000. Merrick, the CEO of Keen Software House, the developer of this game, actually sent me $1,000 on that, so freaking awesome. It helps me continue to do this. My computer died, so I couldn't do this anymore. The reason he likely did it is I've been very supportive in the community, and I've helped out a lot. I've tried applying to him, but since I started dealing with the Crohn's, there was no way I was going to be able to go to Prague, so I kind of lost interest, but I lost interest because of my health. If I was able to work from home, I'd be able to make them 3D models, but I have other things I want to focus on now, like making Project Universe. I would like to make my own game. But yeah, coming back to here, you can see that I have 88 mods. So for me to be able to find the 88 mods that I'm working with in Space Engineers for when I need to diagnose them for problems, I label them. It is Shovelstool-Force Field, so when I'm in the game and I'm searching for the mod, I see Shovelstool-Force Field, so I can find it easily, so I can figure out what's broken if something breaks. So, kind of pretentious, but it's for a reason. Here you can see that I said I was looking for a programmer. This is actually where Blue Knight got a hold of me. He saw I was looking for a programmer and I needed help with making this upgraded mod that I wanted to make, and offered his help. He's helping me for free, which is fantastic, so I'm trying to get the most out of his help that I can. So we'll see what I'm able to get until he goes back to college. Here I go into the details. I'm talking about, hey, it's in a tab by itself. It's large and small grids. There's two grid sizes, so this that you see here is large grid, and then there's another one that is a half-meter cube. The large grid is 2.5 meter cube. So the reason I wanted to make another mod is because they are easily destructible. Like, these explode for no reason, and I don't know why. So I wanted to make an upgraded mod, which the nano wall is going to be, that is going to be more resilient and going to be tons of fun. If I actually go back to it real quick, this is what the nano wall is based on. I had blocks with force fields in them. See, blocks with force fields. You're able to walk through this however you want to. The only one you can't walk through is the solid one, because that's going to stop you. I'll go into more detail about this mod when I load up Space Engineers, so you understand what's going on more. Coming back here, you can see that if there's any bugs, glitches, errors, suggestions, or anything for any of my mods, regardless of what the mod is, if you get a hold of me, I'll try to fix it and get it back up and running. I actually help several other modders get their own mods working. Like this one, I didn't make this mod. I helped him get it working. This mod, I helped him get it working. That's his 3D model. I didn't do anything with that one. This, I made that. These are all by myself. I helped out with this one. I helped out with this one. I did the 3D models for it. It was with Drago Corbin, and it's a great mod. And then I'm starting to get to the other stuff that I helped this guy get his 3D models working so he can get his mod up. That's why my name's not on it. I see it because he marked me as a contributor because I helped him so much. And then here we could see, oh look, it's another mod by me. It's the scaffolding. And then here you see the Hammerman Master Pack. And then there's another Master Pack that I have that is Ember Shards. So these two modders ended up leaving modding for Space Engineers. And I've been keeping their mods alive because a lot of people like them. I haven't had the time to fix them. I barely have the time to fix my own stuff. This mod right here is by Rexar. He made this cool shipyard that you have the ship fly into, and it will build the ship for you or decommission it. And what I did is I made this emblem for him. So I made that, and then these, I believe Katniss made the original ones, and then I made new ones for him. I'll see if he has any pictures of the new ones. So he doesn't have any of the new models in the pictures, but I made new models for him. This is a cool mod. This is the automated beam drill. I made the models for it. I thought about remaking them. The person that made this model, this turret right here, the guy that made this was Mega DDD, the original first 3D model for it. But he wasn't a very good 3D modeler. And this is a turret, or based on a turret, from the game Eve. So he made the original model, and then I made a new one using his as the template because I needed concept art for it. I didn't want to make it by hand. But I took his, I cleaned it up, I made the topography even better, and I got it into the game. I got it some textures so it looks okay. These right there are my original conveyors. I wanted to make something different because I was making different mods, so I wanted it to stand out. But people at the time wanted me to use the original yellow vanilla ones from the original game, so I ended up switching several of my mods for this. I ended up making a bunch of these logos for various people, like Raven Q was a moderator in the Space Engineers community. Rexar is one of the modder friends. He gave me the rough outline for the logo, and then I made the logo in 3D and made it all fancy and everything. So I made this logo. All the other logos, they provided the concept art for it, or the art that I needed to turn into the logo. So these were all made already. This is the actual Keen Software House logo. I believe Captain Twinkie made stuff for Space Engineers, or was a moderator. Riddy has made tons of amazing content for the game. These are a few other people. Zockley is the PR person for Keen Software House. He started as a live streamer, and he ended up getting hired by Keen Software House. And at some point, I started making all these logos. This is Wedgehog. He's a live streamer. Wasted Space is a live streamer. I don't know if Brad Fusion's doing anything, but he was posting stuff for a while. White Weasel has made a ton of cool ships in the game. And then it goes into some war mods. This is a really cool mod that I don't know if is ever going to get revisited. It is maglev rails for Space Engineers. So you can actually make a train system for Space Engineers and have it attached to something, because there's nothing like that in the vanilla game. We don't have rails in the vanilla game, so we made those. This is a really cool mod. I made the satellite dish, so the satellite dish actually spins. What you're about to see now is the actual radar dish rotating in Space Engineers. It's cool because not many blocks in Space Engineers do this. So as you saw, it was animated. And I ended up making that because Just Burner made a mod for Blender to turn animations into something that is usable inside of Space Engineers. that was more easily accessible because I'm not a programmer. If I was a programmer, I could program the subparts to move as I want them to move, but I'm not. So I had to animate it, and what Just Burner made allowed me to do that. Drago ended up making it all work. So this part right here actually works. You actually see this in real time moving as you're flying through the game. I don't know how performance friendly or unfriendly it is, but it works. I ended up making this green screen blocks for Space Engineers because there was a lot of YouTubers and stuff doing stuff in Space Engineers, and they wanted a green screen backdrop that would be able to be cut out so they could put whatever they wanted to put in there. And it made it a lot really easy. I don't know if anybody actually released anything that used them, but I made them because somebody requested them. Here we can see a bunch of Ember Shard stuff. There's his master pack that was on the other page, and it contains all of these in one. Here's a really cool mod. This mod is by Drago Corvin. It's aerodynamic physics. As you fly through the atmosphere, your ship heats up and it takes damage. It allows you to fly in the game using actual physics. There's a couple other mods out that make flying possible, but they're a little cheatier. This one actually measures surfaces, so you can actually figure out how aerodynamic your ship is, and the blockier it is, it'll actually go through the atmosphere slower. You can actually see it burning up as it's flying in. What's actually happening is he's spawning a red light to cause the blocks to glow, and that's why it looks like that. There's no actual flames because the game can barely handle this. If we were to add flames and smoke, it would end up running very, very poorly. This right here is a really cool mod. What ended up happening is the developers released their source code, kind of, to the modding community, and one of the modders ended up making code for the game to make these. And what this is a new type of block type that allows us to make really cool doors. And it's awesome. So you got all these different kinds of doors. And if you were playing the vanilla game and we tried to make these doors with what the developers have provided, we couldn't. So because of iCaster, we can do this. Tartaros was a maker of a bunch of vehicles, if I remember right, and they were beautiful, so I ended up making a logo for them. This Steam Thruster mod is actually a commission, and I need to fix it, but I just haven't had the time. The solar panel mod is actually recently updated. I had some simpler models for it before, but I wanted to update it for everybody, so I made these new 3D models and new textures and everything. It took, I think it was 2 weeks to make, and it was a lot of fun. I thought about making weapons for Space Engineers, but the code is not very friendly to making custom weapons. I have a programmer now, but because I have a programmer, I want to work on my own game instead of trying to make guns of various types work in Space Engineers that could end up breaking at some point, because as the developers update the game, it's very easily possible they'll break one of the mods. I've had tons of my mods break again and again and again, and I fix them again and again and again. It's the problem with modding a game that's not released. I understand that, so I update it. I enjoy working on the stuff, it's fun. The landing gear had some tires added to them at one point. At first it was just these blocks here, and they help your ship attach to a surface. These are a refinery and assembler, and there's how the force fields originally looked. Over here you can see these custom tires. What these are, they are based off of the tires from the APC from the Aliens movie. So the Alien 2 movie, where Sigourney Weaver goes back to the planet because the Weyland-Yutani company ended up sending a colony fleet there, and then they checked out her story after they found her, and then they find the aliens, and the aliens show up and take over the whole complex. I highly suggest it. It's a great movie. I'll talk more about it sometime, or the alien stuff in general. I love the universe. It's a great, great universe. But yeah, these tires are based off of the APC from the Aliens movie. I made these originally. This one I made as like a low profile generator, so it didn't take up such a big space. And then I actually applied 4 space engineers to work for to King Software House to work for them, and this is the model I ended up making for them. It's not super fantastic, and the reason it's not is because of stuff that was going on at the time. It's the best one I was able to make at the time. The rotor mod ended up actually getting revisited. It was originally these silver like shrouds and stuff that were the rotors, but I decided to make new ones that actually look different and looked better. They're not so simple and they're not so shiny. They have a lot of vanilla features on them. Like these are conveyors for transferring materials from here to here and making whatever you want to make. So this, for example, could be made into a functional weapon because you can actually get ammo to the barrels because the way the game works. Everything's block based. This is a player made weapon, or a PMW. I ended up making this mod because someone requested it. I believe it was Tiersis that requested it. I ended up making a font. I had this font on my computer for a very long time, and I ended up editing it and adding it to Space Engineers because I wanted to. The font was actually made as sort of a replacement font that I would actually be able to use. The font that I'm using here is Magma Wave. I enjoy it, but I could end up using this font again. It was meant to look evil corporation-like. These are the conveyors I ended up making. They're really shiny and fancy, but I've thought about revisiting them and kind of doing what I did to the rotor mod, but they work, so I'm not going to touch them. This right here was made at the request of somebody. It is a deflector dish from one of the Star Trek ships, one of the Enterprise ones. The Catwalk Mod is a really popular one of mine. It has 30,000 users, and originally it didn't look like this. Actually, it looked different, and it had these like big copper pipes on all 4 sides, but I ended up cleaning it up and making it a lot simpler, and it's a lot easier on the eyes, in my opinion. A lot of people really love the update. All the detail that you see is actually 3D models, so this grading is actually 3D models instead of textures, so it gives it a certain type of depth that you don't get with a texture that has an alpha map over it. I ended up making this after a request, and it's an airlock. It's really big, but the ship I was making it for was a really big ship, and these were meant to function a certain way for pushing or pulling resources. I ended up making 2 armor types. I've lost all the 3D models for this, so I don't know if I'm ever going to revisit it, but it's a whole bunch of different blocks. When I made these, when the game originally released, it had 4 or 5 blocks that you were able to place. You had the cube, the slant, you had an inside corner-like piece, you had this piece right here, which was for the corner. So we originally had very few. I added this, and it added a whole bunch of other shapes that I wanted. And I could end up making these deformable, but I really don't want to because that would take forever to actually do. Alright guys, well, I'm going to cut the video there. I have to be up in the morning, drive to the courthouse, so I'll catch you guys later. I'll get the other video uploaded of me actually talking about my Nova tomorrow because I'm not going to have enough time to get it edited and uploaded tonight. So I'll have that for you tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for joining me and listening to my stoned ramblings. Guys, have a good one.